person in the anime community, socially awkward as we all are, and yeah, all right, so many people get unwanted attention at cons. You know, you could be cosplaying, you could not be cosplaying. You're still, someone might come up to you and you'll just end up in a weird conversation. You don't know how to talk to them, they don't know how to talk to you. Both of you are really awkward. Then that person stays with you for the rest of the con. You might both just like, I don't know how to talk to you. You're weird, you make me feel uncomfortable, I don't know how to express myself. And like some people could follow you for no reason, different things like that. I just did that, I'm sorry. So I want to teach you guys how to just talk to each other and be comfortable with each other and express how you really feel deep inside. You just want to make a friend. And so who am I? Why am I telling you what to do? Why am I doing this panel? My name is Stella Chuu. I've been cosplaying for a few years, and I also do burlesque performance. I'm in like a risky business kind of thing. I put myself out there, I'm vulnerable, and I've learned through all of my years doing this that I want people to still like me. I still want to make friends. I very badly want to make friends, but I want to be able to like express my boundaries and what I'm comfortable with and things like that. Let me skip that page because I have a co-panelist, which is not here. Oh well. Anyway, so how to identify a fanboy? So fanboys are socially awkward, overly friendly, obsessive, talkative, oblivious, and breathing. Now some of you might be looking at this list and being like, hey, I'm some of those things. Yeah, that's because we're all fanboys and fangirls. Oh, and staring too. Hi, yeah, my eyes are over here. Fangirls. Yeah, you guys know what this is about. You've seen the anime. I'm so glad people have seen this anime so you know, like, the ultimate crazy person. Socially awkward, once again. I'm really socially awkward. I have a really bad time talking to people. Overly friendly, just like talking and telling everything about your life and not being able to filter out what's going on. Very obsessive about like, oh my god, I love your thing, I'm going to talk about your thing that I love, and I'm going to talk about this thing that I love, that's so much. Very talkative. Actually, I think fangirls are more talkative than fanboys. Oblivious, yeah. Harry and Draco.
He's really sticking up to Sasuke.
And there's also this. Yeah, it's like yaoi is not reality. You don't want to apply your yaoi fantasies onto two cosplayers. I know that it's going to be great, but they shouldn't. You can't make Sasuke and Naruto make out as much as you want them to. So how not to approach somebody at a con? Yeah, it's welcome to the NHK. He got really depressed and started taking pictures of little girls. I don't think any of us will ever reach that rock bottom. So don't take any photos without asking, because, they're like, maybe a cosplayer is like eating or fixing their costume, and someone will be like, click, run away. Like I've had pictures of me like eating a cheeseburger or pizza, and someone's like, and they're like, I could have posed for you, but instead I have ketchup dripping out of my mouth. And then the result of that, sometimes there's upskirt photos. Don't ever do upskirt photos. Very, very, very bad. Never, ever allowed to do that. Surprise glove. This used to be a huge fad back in the day. Why was it a fad? I don't know. It makes me really angry because lots of people with like fragile costumes will get glum and then their costumes falls apart. It's like, oh, those safety pins that I use don't work anymore. Thank you. It's ruined everything. Also, just some people have like personal bubbles, and you know, you ruined that personal bubble of mine and touching me. The first time I ever got glommed was when I was at Otakon, and I was really young. I was like 17, and this person is like, oh, can I give you a hug? And I'm like, okay, I want a hug. But the person glommed me and then picked me up and spun me around and tried to make out with my face, and I was like, ah! It was really bad, and I will forever remember that person. Also, they were trapped too. I was really excited that it was like a guy dressed in a Sailor Moon outfit, and I was like, oh, yay, my first trap, you're amazing, I love you. And then they like proceeded to molest me, and it was bad times. Endless one-sided conversations. I've had one person talk to me about their fanfiction from like Yu Yu Hakusho for like 15 minutes, and I didn't know how to say like, hi, I'm not interested anymore, I gotta go, and things, and I just listened. I continued listening to their fanfiction story. And then also, hover hands. Don't do the hover hand when you're taking a photo with a cosplayer, how you're just, or even just touching. Don't put your hand on them. Just go like this, ha, when you're taking a photo. Because touching them is bad, and hover hand is also bad because it makes it the appearance that you are their boyfriend, but you're not. Yeah, anyway. How to properly approach someone. I don't know what anime this is from. What anime is it from? I just like found I just googled smiling anime character. So discern if they're welcoming conversation. You know, if you're online, like you're waiting on a line, or maybe you're standing next to each other in the dealer's den, you're looking at the same thing. Yeah, that's a great time to start a conversation. You know, you can talk about similar interests, like why are you on the line, and talk about the thing you want to buy. But if like the person's eating, or they're having a costume malfunction, or they're really sad in the corner and they're so angry, things like that, or they're walking, like that's not a time to talk. That I know that's like really common sense, but there's many times in which that has happened where like somebody is off doing something else, and this other person's like, oh, I just want to talk to you about everything, and like runs after them. Always politely ask the cosplayer for a photo. That's very important because like we want to get our photos taken, but we don't want you to take it without us, like, you know, like when we're not ready and things like that. Like we want to pose for you, or maybe we're just too tired and we want to say no. So don't get disgruntled if we say no to a photograph. You can get a photo later, probably just not right at the moment when you need to go pee, or need to go drink some water, or need to go eat. And easy way to start a conversation is to compliment somebody about maybe their hair is really cool, maybe they have a really cool prop, or their book bag has a cool patch on it. You know, like find something to compliment about, and then you can find like something common to talk about too, because of that. So it's a great way to like start a conversation. So yeah, talk about common interests. My favorite anime is the anime that you're cosplaying from. I'm going to talk to you about how much I love your character. And then you can talk to me about how much you love your character. And then geek out together about how much you love the character. Oh my god! Because like one thing we always forget is that, you know, we're all here with very, very similar interests. We all know about the same anime. That's my co-panelist just coming.
Don't mind me!
Let me go back to the screen about you. Yeah. Alright, so this is my co-panelist, Gina B.
With microphones on. I'm not gonna lie, like I got here like 20 minutes ago, and I'm like, so where's this panel room? And everybody told me a different answer, so.
There she is. So this is Gina B. Gina B, talk about yourself.
Oh yes, okay. So I started cosplaying back in 2004. I was 14 years old. My first costume was Sango from Inuyasha. It was made out of pizza boxes. Since then, I have been dabbling in a lot of fiberglass and a lot of Wonderflex, yada yada. And I found myself more in the risque department, I guess we could say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, your photos kind of.
Yeah.
I picked out the photos that are risque.
Yeah,
For
so
this panel.
I'm known on the internet mostly for my Velma costume at the moment. I have no idea kind of how, but as you can see, I do get sexualized often. And there's some good things and a lot of bad things that come. I think that you're touching base upon that already.
I don't know, continue talking.
that come with that. And so me as a cosplayer, like this is where I'm coming from. I'm coming from this, like I really want to do this outfit and how do I do this successfully at a convention and protect myself sort of standpoint. All right, I'll let you go back to where you are.
Going forward.
Oh, I missed my mouth breathing opportunity. Damn.
All right, okay, so geek out together. That's where we left off. So geek out together because we're all geeks and we came here and we all know the same animes and video games and internet memes.
We do all have that as a common point, I think. I mean, if you really think about it, I was picked on when I was in middle school. I had, like horrendous acne. I had my granny glasses. I was fat. I was in honor society. I was one of those kids who preferred to read next to the playground and play kickball with people. Like, I was one of those social outcasts, and I did that to myself. And when I came to conventions, that geek out factor was like the best thing ever. Realistically, I mean, we all have at least certain things that are in common with that. Whether or not, you were the one who read next to the playground or not. I mean, you definitely, everybody here at the convention, I think, have the same anxiety issues of making friends. And when we, you sit there and you're like, I don't connect with other people very well, but you know for a fact that they're wearing that costume, you can geek out over that topic instead of talking about yourself, and it gives that deflection. Well.
Yeah. Oh, and so on top of talking to them, don't linger too long. If you're here for 4 days, you can have this 10-minute conversation while you're online, and then go your separate ways without needing to tell each other that we're gonna meet up again. Just say hey, hopefully I'll see you the rest of the weekend. Walk away. If you love something, set it free, and if it loves you back, it will come back to you.
I mean, realistically, think about that. If you're gonna be, like you said, you're here for this whole entire weekend, and there's always that person that comes up to you and they're like, and so I read 500 chapters this past weekend, come here, and blah, 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 and I made this costume, and I'm gonna tell you every single way to make it. You're sitting there like, oh my God, I just wanna go eat. Stop talking to me.
You still want to talk to them, but just not at that very moment, or just not for half an hour long. Maybe you just want to talk to them for 10 minutes. So everyone, practice dosage. Just stay for 10 minutes and then go away, and then maybe you'll see each other again, and
Then you have that oh, hey, remember me? I was the one who couldn't shut up. That's what I generally say. Because I'm a talker, I don't shut up. And I'm like, I'm going to talk to you for 15, 20 minutes, and you're going to try to get away, but I'm going to keep talking to you. And then when you see me later, you're like, oh, it's that girl. I remember you.
About her fan fiction.
Yeah,
God damn it.
basically, that's it.
All right, so building confidence. So I figured out a few things to help you build confidence in yourself, and these are all easy things. Some of them are easy that you can do every single day to just make your life better, get yourself happier. Being happier will give you the confidence. So start your day with something positive, whether that's doing a little bit of exercise, watching your favorite anime, playing your favorite video game, reading uplifting news.
Something that you enjoy that makes you happy.
Yeah, so do that at the beginning of every day, because that way you started the day on a high note, and hopefully that'll set the tone for the rest of the day. And take time to be grateful. We don't think about the things that we're happy about and are proud of in our life very often. We think about the negative
Especially
things.
when conventions roll around. I know me, I'm sitting there in front of my sewing machine sobbing hysterically for the 3 days before. I'm like, F this, I can't sew, what am I doing? Why am I even going to this convention? I have no skills whatsoever. And then I hype everything up, and when I get to the con, I realize, oh wait, I do have a lot that I'm grateful for. I'm actually going to a convention. You know, I have a job. I have a place to live. You know, I have the time to actually make costumes. Like, there's a lot of things that I neglect when I'm like sewing my hands into the sewing machine. So,
yeah, think about the things that make you happy, that you're proud of, that like, oh, I accomplished this, my life is like this, because things can be like so much worse. And you have a unique life, you're living your life your own way, things like that.
and this will definitely affect how you carry yourself and come across to others.
Mm-hmm. And surround yourself with good people. It's very important. If you're, I'm going to talk to you cosplayers specifically, if you are surrounded by other cosplayers who are all just like catty, evil, like conniving, pessimistic, like just making your life miserable, cut them out of your life. They are the fat in your life. You are your own temple. You know, you want to make sure that you are giving yourself good
That
medicine.
negativity will rub off on you. You don't think it does, but I think by like constantly surrounding yourself with people who are going to be body type profiling all the time or nitpicking details, we call them the cosplay elite. Some people like to call them cosplay Nazis because they sit there and they're like,
Oh, my
That
cosplay of that was way better last year.
seriously, mine looks so much better, and you're gonna feel bad about yourself.
Yeah, they make you feel bad.
No one wants that.
And I'm not saying that we don't do these things too. We do it too. We're human. Just we're practicing not to do it, and we're telling you practice not to do it, and don't surround yourself with people who also do it.
And like, especially like this morning, I was having some costume like malfunction, and I was about to lose it. You know, you have that cosplay meltdown is what I call it. Everyone has the same thing where you go into a blind rage and you know you're being unreasonable, but you can't help it. But then by the fact that I had really good people in my room, there was that moment of just breathe, I'll help you. And that really does influence how you then go to the convention itself and how you can start approaching other people. And it's not just convention-wise, it is definitely an everyday thing. If you have that pessimistic influence on you constantly, you're going to start warping into that as well. And to avoid getting sucked into that vicious cycle, it's always good. Just have good friends that you can rely on.
Mm-hmm. And set achievable goals.
I actually find this really funny. I really find this funny for two reasons. First of all, he's Super Saiyan 3. If I had a guesstimate, I'm pretty sure that not many people here could obtain Super Saiyan 3 to begin with. And second of all, he's dead in this picture. we might have to review this slide.
I'll change it to like,
being dead is not on my priority. Achievable goals.
Alright, so set achievable goals. I will finish this costume. I will only have one costume this entire con, so then it will be perfect and complete. I will graduate from college and with an XYZ GPA, and I will be happy with that.
Let's start jumping off the bridge over here. I'm gonna put pants on today and go out the door. When I get home and my pants come off, I'm not going out anymore. I don't care if he's calling me. I'm just like, no, I got stuff to do. Yeah.
So setting achievable goals will make you feel like you've accomplished something. So if you make a list for yourself, like today I will put on my pants and go outside and I will finish this video game and I will apply for this job. That way you will have like checklist. That is done. You can look at the checklist and be like, yeah, I'm awesome. I did it. You know? And then you can do like the big life goals, like, you know, getting into grad school.
In 5 years, I want to dominate the world.
Yeah. And forgive yourself for your mistakes. Everyone's really hard on themselves and like filled with regret. Like everyone's always regretful. This is a really hard thing not to like to have. You want to just tell yourself like, okay, it's fine. I didn't do it right this time. I'll do it right next time. You can't learn unless you fail.
I especially do this with costumes. I actually will make a costume and I look at it, and even if I hate it, you know, it's what I made. And at that time, it was the best that I could do. And then, say in 6 months when I go to another convention, I realize my craftsmanship has improved since then. And I'll choose to pick the worst part what I thought on that costume was, and I'll remake that little piece. whether it's just putting a few extra stitches in or actually removing a prop. And every time I wear it, I try to improve just a small piece of it. And that, to me, I can see in my photo sets. I'm like, wow, that made such a big difference in how it photographed. And I'm so proud of myself for just, I mean, it sounds stupid, that like my skirt pleat, I knew I had one crooked one in my Velma dress for the longest time. And I was like, I looked at all these pictures and what? But I was too lazy, but I made that my goal. You know what I mean? My achievable goal. It took me a while, let me tell you, because I had to put my hands on. And once them suckers went on, I was like, wow, and I really felt a lot better myself. And so I was embarrassed when I had first worn, certain outfits or whatever, but forgiving yourself and with moving on is definitely, I think, the key here, not just forgiving your mistakes, but we definitely do exist in a community where we are always getting punished for doing wrong.
Yeah.
And you can even see here in the background, we're always like, you've died, you suck. Do better on the next round or something like that.
Also the external people who are like, yeah, you suck, like 4chan and Facebook, all those people just being mean. Don't look at those.
Not even the internet. Let's talk about my parents. My dad's a huge geek. He really supports my costuming. He's a huge Trekkie. I'm doing a Star Trek outfit for DragonCon this year, and he's like, use my phaser. I have the communicator that makes a baby sound. My mom calls me on a basically almost a daily basis, and she constantly tells me, why the hell are you wasting your life? She tells me, this is a waste of money, this is a waste of your time, it's a waste of your talent. She goes, you're so creative, and what the hell are you doing? You're wearing costumes? That's pathetic. And she tells me this all the time. She called me on my birthday to tell me this. And there's this huge, weight. And I think a lot of people have that in their lives, and we don't want to talk about that because it's embarrassing to say that, my parents hate what I do, they don't support what I do. And having that constantly there, it's that nagging, dragging down feeling, and that will change how you carry yourself at a convention. Because yeah, I'm proud to be at the con, but man, my mom sees my Facebook, she sees all of my photos, and my mom's actually an art teacher, and she's like, the composition of this photo sucks, look at the lighting, how can you pose that way? It's like she nitpicks even that far. So, having that bad influence, it hurts your self-esteem, it hurts you, and you have to come to terms to kind of find that confidence in other ways to build up at things.
We're gonna have Q&A afterwards, so hey Arnold,
it's hard to miss you, so.
I can't hear you. We're gonna talk to you later. We have a thing later.
If nagging's your drive, then man, kudos to you. But for the most part, I think not a lot of people can cope well when it comes to the pessimistic influence.
So believe in yourself. Believe in me that believes in you. This is hard to do, telling yourself that you can do it, being positive about your own abilities. That's all I can say about it. Just believe in yourself and just tell yourself every day that you're worth it.
And I think there's also a huge stress in the community, especially with cosplay again, that we need to make everything ourselves. If you don't make that full outfit, you're not a true fan. And I personally think that's BS. Let's really think about it. I have no skills in video editing. I have no skills in Photoshop. I have no, those tech, yeah. I still do my makeup. I honestly don't know the difference between a cover-up and a foundation. I have no idea. She opens her bag and I'm like, what's that? I have no skills in that. But I can fiberglass a prop like nobody's business. But most people can't. Most people don't have access to those tools. And then you put your pictures on the internet and you get slandered, oh, look at how crappy their outfit is. But sometimes that's the best that person can do. And sometimes that's the only resources that person had. And as long as you feel comfortable and you know that you went to that convention and you did your best, that really should be what matters. Not the fact that someone else at the con who's a pro cosplayer, who's been there, doing it for 10, 15 years and has, funding for the same outfit, and of course they're gonna look better, but you shouldn't compare because that's what you had. And as long as you believe in what you have,
Alright. Activity time! This is why I was in the workshop rooms, because I wanted you guys to get warmed up. Alright, so I'm going to teach you how to say no politely.
Saying no is a big deal. Did we review? the instances we want to say no?
Yeah, kinda, I guess so.
Most times, I think there's gonna be a couple of times that you're gonna wanna say no. For me, it's mostly for photos. For example, I was late and I showed up and everyone's like, oh my God, chick with ass hanging out, they don't even know who I am. Can I take your picture? Oh, right, I'm sorry, it's not an 18 plus panel. I retract that statement. And immediately I'm like, well, what do I do, you know? I could say yes and I'd be further late, or you know, what if I wanted to go to lunch, but I'm tired? You know, these are all instances where you gotta say, you have the right to say no. Because realistically, you shouldn't be burdened with you know, everybody else. And people get angry, they're gonna stomp, they're gonna make you feel bad. And this is something, again, that hits you like that guilt factor.
Also, it's how to say no in situations that make you feel uncomfortable. So if somebody asks you for your Facebook information or your phone number or just like anything that you're not really...
Phone numbers are the worst thing. I made the biggest mistake. I say this story all the time. Oh my God, this guy. When I was 14, again, I was Sango. I went to the convention alone. I was literally by myself and I was trying to make friends. And there was this Inuyasha cosplayer. I knew he had to be at least like 10, 15 years old. He's a little too old to be doing Inuyasha. And he asked for my number. And I was like, you know what? I really want friends. This is something that I just didn't want to be alone. So I gave him my number, thinking, oh, we're going to meet up tomorrow for a photo shoot. Now, this was in 2004. To this day, this guy still messages me. Hey, hi, what's up? Can I see you? Can I take pictures of you? Can I meet up with you? I'm like, bro, if I have not responded to your messages in 6 to 8 years, I think it's time to lose the number. And some people don't get that, and that's why it's dangerous. I mean, also with the internet right now, with the number, you can find where people live. Protecting your identity is surprisingly something that's really important because it takes one person. That's it. Just one person. I'm not trying to make everyone paranoid, but it takes one person to completely ruin your life. And I've had the instances of people who have found my personal information and they try contacting me, and I've had stalkers on the internet who create 8-page scenarios of their fantasies. They type it out and they fill in dialogue for me and they send it to me to read. And I've had, you know, like these really, so it's like protecting your identity is surprisingly important. So your number is you. Also, hold on to it, not like your virginity, like something more important.
Putting on kids, virginity.
You can tell where I came from this morning, you know what I mean? Woo!
Also, little things like, hey, like, do you want to go hang out right now? Do you want to go to this panel with me? Like, do you want to go to a dealer's den with me? You know, you're just like, oh, I don't really want to, I'm sorry. You know, you can say no in those situations.
Yeah, it's very light situations. They're not all going to be severe.
Yeah, you don't have to, you know, if you don't want to do something, you just say no. It could be as easy as like, hey, can I give you a hug? Like, no, thank you, I'm not interested. So this is how you would say no in situations like that. Either extreme or not. Okay, so everyone repeat after the screen. No, thank you.
This is a good generic one. It works well, but sometimes you gotta go to the next one.
I'm sorry, but I'm not interested.
I'm sorry, I'm not interested.
I don't feel comfortable doing that.
This is a really good one, because saying you don't feel comfortable, there's guaranteed to be other people around that hear that. And if you really don't feel comfortable taking those upskirt shots, you don't feel comfortable going over to the dealer's room, leaving your friends to go off with this person, that's okay. You're allowed to feel uncomfortable. And if you say, I don't feel comfortable, they have to oblige that. You know, you can't do something that you know, don't put yourself in that situation.
I don't want to do that. That is so simple. I don't want to do that.
And that's actually a really good, like, I always imagine it kind of like you run to the bank teller and they're like closing and you're like, oh, but I want, and they're like, nope, and they shut the door, like done. You know, they just slide that thing down. That's what this is. I don't want to do that. Done. End the conversation.
That was inappropriate.
Actually, that's more like, that was inappropriate.
I have to get going, but thanks for asking.
This is also a really good good one if you don't want to be like too strict, you know what I mean? Like, no, thanks for asking, but I don't want to go. You're saving face for everybody, you know what I mean? Putting them down lightly.
So how to say no like a jerk. I put this in there because it's fun. You don't have to do it, but you don't have to do it in real life, but you're going to repeat after me because it's fun. No touching. No touching.
They got more enthusiastic for this one.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
Seriously, just leave me alone. I'd rather stick needles in my ass.
Are we in a student panel
So
now?
do's and don'ts. Never tell anyone your hotel room. Because they will possibly follow you to your hotel room or find out where you are staying. Oh, also,
It's not just about you now. This is about your roommates. I have all of my costume stuff, and if I have, one of my roommates bring some creep person to the room that doesn't know me or know to respect my things, that's it's affecting more than just you.
Yeah.
So you have to be conscious of the people around you again.
yeah, you don't want somebody going up and down your hallway looking for you. You also when you say like, oh, I'm staying at the Sheraton, they're like, yeah, I heard about this party at the Sheraton. How about I come over and we go to the party together? No, stop. Never give away your phone number. That is why. That is exactly why. If you know what this anime is, you know why. To never give away your phone number.
Like I said, he texts me to this day.
Yeah. Try to assume positive intent.
I actually think this is a really key point. Think about it. Like I said before, we all have the same anxiety. We all have the same issues. I come up to Stella all the time like, Stella, I'm your biggest fan. Like I'll do that to her, and she's like, oh, whatever. But then if someone else does it, it all of a sudden feels creepy. But we're all doing the same thing, and we should take that into consideration that there are mental issues with a lot of people. They're not being creepers. They might just have some legitimate issue, or they're staring at you creepily because they're trying to build the courage to talk to you. You know what I mean? Like, it's not always the fact that they want to molest you.
Don't stalk anyone. Perfectly simple. You know what this is from? It's Catherine, the ultimate stalker.
Yeah, don't tag people, don't follow them. You'll be surprised how much you'll notice people's faces. It's a big con, but you can remember faces.
Always ask for permission for anything from taking photos or just having a conversation like, hey, do you want to chat for a while? Things like that. Always just everything you do, don't just jump in. Just say hey, can I do this? May I do that?
And that'll actually surprise the person you're trying to communicate with. They'll be like, oh wow, this person's really nice. And that'll actually be more receptive, I think, to talking.
Yeah, it's like, hey, can I give you a hug? Oh, thank you for asking. I'm not interested in a hug, but let's have a conversation. So, in the end, everyone just wants to be loved. Always remember to be nice, be patient, smile, have empathy, confidence, and geek out together. Because we're all the same people. We all love the same things. We are all outcasts of society. Our parents are all looking down upon us for doing this. We all have a huge amount of things in common. We can be friends. So I leave you with this photo of Jessica Negri doing a hover hand, but that's because the guy came up to her and was like, hey, Jessica Negri, can I take a photo with you, but with the hover hand? And she's like, yes, but only if you post it onto Reddit. And so this was a consensual hover hand photo. And so now we only have 3 minutes left.
Five or so minutes.
But we want to tell you about we've been telling stories, but we also wanted to share some other stories too, because we've been collecting stories for this panel.
Oh yes.
So when I was at New York Comic Con, I was dressed up as Psylocke, and Psylocke is just a leotard, right? And so I'm walking in the dealer's den, and this guy decides that it's totally okay to just grab my butt and keep walking. I spun around so fast, and I had these blades in my hand, and I pointed at his chest, and I was like, what did you just do? Did you just grab my butt? How dare you do that? Apologize to me. He's like, whatever, sorry. And I'm like, no, you apologize to me properly. You do not treat a woman like that. You never do that again to anyone. And he's like, I'm sorry, oh God. And he walked away and was super kind of disheveled and scared. And I'm like, yeah, I have total victory. Yeah, groping for me generally happens
to, they say, can I take a picture with you? And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. And they, instead of putting their arm around my shoulder, they'll put it around my hip, which is okay.
And then go.
But then they'll take and like kind of turn me and then put my butt kind of into crotchmas region.
Yeah.
That's kind of not cool. And they'll kind of like do a little. Sometimes when that's happening, they'll keep going down and get a good grab and skedaddle out. And I mean, what do? You kind of freeze. It's like, did that just happen? And then while you're still shocked, they get away.
Well, that's a good time though to go report that person to convention staff and be like, this person was wearing this, this, and this, and he was very inappropriate with me. Please give him a good talking to.
Yeah, chances are, if he's doing it to you, there's a chance he's going to do it again. And again, it's not just protecting yourself, it's protecting others at the convention.
Yeah. Also, don't be afraid to, like, if somebody does try and touch you while they're taking a photo with you, well, you can say, like, no hands, please. Even if they are like, what's wrong with you? Like, B-word. You know, if they say that, like, whatever, they think you're a mean person, but you protected yourself, they can just go away. That's not your fault. You're not being mean. You're protecting yourself. And if they are going to be like, yeah, that girl, she's such a B-word, whatever, they can think that.
Edited Stella's so cute.
They can think that, but you are strong, independent, and you protected yourself from that's their fault. That's their thing.
Right.
Just let them be. If you actually didn't say that and they touched you and you felt really uncomfortable and for the rest of the day your day was ruined because you felt like you were violated,
I think it would hurt me more that I knew that I could have prevented it, you know?
Yeah.
You can prevent these types of scenarios. You can see these signs when they're about to happen. So, like I said, just say that beforehand. Yeah, we can take a picture, but don't touch.
All right, so we actually only have 2 minutes left. So we have one story over there. We just wanted to, yeah.
I just wanted to share because
Actually, could you stand up while you so everyone can hear you?
there was a guy at Long Beach Comic Con, and he actually did all the right things. He asked permission, he geeked out with me, it was great, and then at the very end, he leaned over and kissed me. And I froze. I just
Repeat what he did.
Okay, he did all the right things, geeked out to me, we had fun, he asked permission for the picture and the kind of pictures he wanted. I was totally comfortable with what he asked me to do in the picture. I was completely comfortable. And then at the end, he leaned over and he kissed me, and I froze. I was like,
Now, how did you
Oh my
handle the
God.
situation?
Did you hide the body?
It's in the backyard of it. No, I was just, by the time I had processed what happened, he was gone, and I was like,
That guy's a sniper.
yeah.
Not to make light of your situation, that is a very severe situation. That has never happened to me. And that's actually the first time I've heard of that. We're going to definitely retain that story, I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully in the future, though, like I said, if you can identify and report, that is the best plan of action. Hitting the guy is never...
Oh, don't ever hit anyone.
Then that does put you in a bad position. But actually, we will go to one more.
One more story, and you have 30 seconds. Who has a story of an interesting thing that happened?
That they would like to share.
All right, actually, no one else. Oh, you have one? Oh, you have a great one.
Yeah.
Can I share the one that I really want to share about you?
Yes.
Okay, so he was dressed up in this really crazy costume with like fur and stuff, and it was at Otakon with like 100% humidity and 100 degrees outside, and he was having a heat stroke, and he was laying on the ground like having like issues, and
His friend is like passed out on the ground.
and his friend's watching over him like panicking and waiting for an EMT to arrive, and this guy comes by and is like, hey, I like your cosplay, can I take a photo of you? He's passed out on the ground. Can I still take a photo of you? Yeah, that happened. Anyway, do you have another story?
Yeah.
All right, this will be the last one, and go for it.
It's actually, I yesterday cosplayed as Chuu from Yu Yu Hakusho, and it's a blue mohawk, and I normally have a blue mohawk. But usually the mohawk attracts people, and I always get people like they want to touch the hair and see if it's real. It's not a problem. And one girl actually tried to lick my hair, and told me horrible things that she did to me, and I was just like, oh, thank you. There's my girlfriend. Gina, please lick the other side of the hair and clean
Even it out?
Yeah.
Did you tell her to go away?
No.
You didn't learn anything from this panel. You seem to learn twice.
I like it. No.
All right.
Don't, but not by example.
Unfortunately, I think the nice, polite, patient type people are gonna shut off our microphones. So I think we're gonna have to head out. But we're gonna move to the back if anybody wants to talk or take pictures with us.